Hey everybody, what's up? It's Kyle and KZ.
More people get their voice out there, then I think they'll realize like we're all the same, really.
KZ decided, let's do it. Took the bait. So
Veteran Chat Project, where it's encouraged to not be okay all the time.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle.
And KZ.
And we are back with another episode of the Veteran Chat Project. And I personally am very excited to have this guy on. This is my basic training bunkmate right here, ladies and gentlemen. You all had that battle buddy, that dude that, or what should we want to say, dude, that person that got you through basic training, or a dark time in your military career, or not dark, but it was hard. Having a really good friend and someone that kind of shares the same mentality was kind of great. We made kind of fun out of a shitty situation, and had a lot of stories to tell. But without no further introduction, we have Ryan Funk joining us live from San Diego. Sunny San Diego. I'm jealous looking at the sunshine because it snowed here today, and I'm like, why?
Sucks for you.
Yeah,
all countries, man.
So what's up, man? How you been? What's new?
I've been good, man. Not a whole lot. Just the families. I got 2 kids. Everyone's doing good. We're just been busy working, and I'm doing my thing. My girl's working from home. Kids in school. Little one's about to start pre-K. Just dad life right now, man. Dad life, solid. I'm in it thick too, man. Thick, like no way out. Like couldn't if I wanted to, dude. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. We got a almost 2-year-old now. He'll be 2 next month, so I stay at home with him right now. So I mean, yeah, I love that shit.
It's a good age
these days.
But, where you work at?
Right now, I work for a company called Pace. It's like a insurance company for elderly people, and I work for the transportation side of that company. So,
sweet, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting job. It keeps me going, I guess you could say. A lot of the jobs I had recently have just been too boring, man.
It's kind of like time fillers. It seems like,
yeah. But I found a job I like, and that's it, man. We're just staying busy with working.
So, dude, we gotta share some of our favorite basic stories, dude. At least one. I know we don't want to get too carried away onto that. We normally don't go too far into like the service side, but I know like I just want to ask you like what was I know, but like let's just pick one, dude, that you can remember.
And I was just thinking it, and I almost. Oh man, I'm brain farting on it too. You were there with me, and oh man, what was it? Oh man, I was just thinking of it. Other than I don't know, the time that I got a hamburger hand and almost broke my ankle. That was a pretty interesting 2 weeks, man. I don't know if you remember, we had, how we had to run to formation, and as we ran around that building there, I stepped on a boulder, man, and my ankle and you ever see someone go in a full sprint to just flying into the ground, dude? That's what happened to me. I got messed up, and then I don't know if you remember, I was on crutches for like 2 weeks because of that.
Fuck,
they were like, I almost almost had to reclass me, but it was nice because those 2 weeks were probably the best 2 weeks I ever had in basic training. Everyone was in like that relaxed state of mind. We were close to graduating, but not quite. Everyone was doing the stupid games and betting on quarters and
nutball, dude, or
nutball, and wrestling. Just had like we had Bay Wars.
Company,
remember
dude.
The Bay Wars that we had?
Yeah.
We're like one Bay would just run in and start just beating and we'd all just start fucking going, dude, and
like y'all better be ready. It was interplatoon, like if we caught you like 3 or 4, you guys went to they're short in that Bay, dude. Let's get in there.
Yeah, let's run it real fast. Let's run in there, and I came in there with my crutches,
couple body shots. and just run out. Yeah, dude.
I would say that was probably the best time I had, man, because that's when everyone was kind of more relaxed, and it's different for
fun.
us for us tankers with OSUT than everyone else in the Army. So I think it was just a time when 4 months of that shit, man, versus everyone else just their AIT, they get to go out on the weekends and have their fun.
Right.
Drink
Yeah, we go out
everywhere.
we get our 9 weeks or whatever, like basic, and then we get our weekend, and then your same drill sergeants are the ones waiting for you as soon as you get back. Like, what's up? I know you guys did something wrong, so might as well just start running.
Yeah, it was just more of the same, But for all that time, man, I'd have to say those 2 weeks, even though I was injured, it was such a good time for our platoon, for everyone. I think that was when Pantoa busted my head open accidentally, because then we started messing with other platoons. And when I went up there and we were messing with him, he came behind me and he grabbed me and he went to move me, and my head hit the bed and it just sliced me right open. And we started wrestling, and he stopped because he saw all the blood. I thought it was sweat. I thought we were playing, and so did he. So, there was no animosity or whatever, but it was so great because then when we were wrestling, he looked at me, and he was like, "What the fuck, Private?" And I had blood running down my face, and he was like, "You're bleeding. You're leaking all over the place." And I went into the bathroom, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was good times. That was the best time of basic for me. What was for you? What would you say?
Dude, honestly, it's just all the shit talking. I mean, I'm a shit talker, dude, and to find someone else that was instantly like, man, we're gonna talk shit all the way through this and just laugh at everything, or I just remember we would be sitting there, dude. One of my favorite things was how we would always hide Kool-Aid in our canteens, bro. Always, dude. Somehow, some way, this motherfucker had some Kool-Aid packets, and he's like, "Battle, you need some orange?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So we're sitting at the range, dude, in front of everybody. I'm talking blue fucking lips and shit. It ain't me drinking the Kool-Aid, drill sergeant. I didn't do that shit.
We'd
yes,
be
we
all
did. It was
up on sugar too, because we haven't gotten any the whole time. So we're all just fucking
stop
wild,
sending Turner and Funk to go get the chow, and so we're sitting in the back of the fucking thing, in the back of the MRAPs or the LMTVs or whatever they were. I don't know, dude. But we're sitting on the way back and we're chugging fucking Kool-Aid, bro, in the middle of Kentucky heat, like idiots. So I mean, just that kind of shit, dude. Selling our cookies for $50 a piece at lunch and shit. Motherfuckers were dumb, bro. First time someone came up to me and they're like, "I'll give you $20 for your cookies," I was like, 30.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And I'm like, what? It's like that? Y'all are over some grandma's 50-cent cookies.
Hey, no one had anything better to do with their money too, so they were like, "I'll drop 50 on a cookie right now."
That's why that caps gambling game got fucking almost, that second platoon was doing, dude. They almost got us all in trouble, bro, because they were really gambling high stakes money on flipping their patrol cap on the bed banister, the bunk bed, the top post to where you can hang your lawn. They were flipping their cap from wherever, and if you get the hat to stay on it, it's a point, and they're betting, dude. I don't know how much because it wasn't our platoon, but dude, they had.
We almost got hemmed up that one time when they were like, "We found cards." Handmade cards in someone's boot, and I made a whole deck, and I had them in my boot. And so then they brought up some other people, and it was their cards, and they never got to our bay because they just found their cards and was like, "All right, we found them." And I went in and tore those things up, threw them away.
Remember all the weapons cleaning days and shit, dude? That we would we'd set up on. So if you walk in the bay. Ours was the last bunk on the left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bunk beds, and ours was, way back on the left. So we had the corner. So basically, if you sat on the door side with enough shit on the floor, cleaning your rifle, Battle can get a nap. And we did that shit, dude.
Yeah.
The motherfucker would get in his wall locker and shut the door and just be out for an hour. Battle, cover me.
I was gonna say,
don't go nowhere without telling me. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
I went to the bathroom. I come back in and I look in the corner and I see you're not there. And I come around and I look and I just see a set of legs sitting on the floor, sticking out from the locker. He sat in between the locker and hung his shirts in front so that everything was covered, and he's sitting in there just sleeping against the wall.
Ass down.
So I'd sit with my back against the wall and put my legs over his. And I'd sit there and just clean my weapon or some shit and just like essentially hide his legs so that he can sleep. And if anyone came in, they just see my legs kind of meshing with his and they wouldn't really question it. So it was good, man.
So yeah, man. Yeah, that would be my favorite shit, dude. Just having someone right off the bat that I was like, dude, the Army's gonna be dope if there's more people like this around. And then I was like, we're gonna get stationed together. We're gonna go on. We're gonna fucking be best friends forever, dude. We're gonna fucking never split apart. And then we got our orders, and it was like, you're going to Texas, and you're going to Korea. And y'all motherfuckers ain't going to see each other till you talk again. 2008. It is now 2023. Shit.
Yeah, we talked in between that intermittently, but nothing like that. Nothing like a big conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, just the good old check in on you, like what's good, the old battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So August, we graduate 2008 August, and then our lives go on their separate paths, and you wind up in Korea. So what was Korea like as a young private funk?
So Korea was nice. Yeah, I think on one of your guys' episodes, you had a guy on here who was from First Tank.
He was one of our section sergeants.
Yeah, he was neighbor. He's literally right next to. I was in 2-9, and they're literally share the hill that we reside on, and so it was like saying, like, he pretty much explained a lot of it. But when I showed up in springtime, and it was nice weather, 70 degrees. I was like, this is dope, dude. It reminds me of home. Like, I learned real quickly, dude, there is 10 months of winter in that country, and it is cold, man. It is so cold. When winter came in, -30 in the early mornings, usually -10 to around +10 as like a normal winter day. The clearer the day, the colder it was, man. If we had clouds, it was snowing, so that meant it was 30 degrees. Everyone's wearing their summer uniform because you're that warm already, like you're that hot. It was brutal. It's a brutal country when it comes to their weather.
So that's one of those duty stations where like guys like me open up their winter gear. I'm like, man, where the fuck would you wear this shit? So you'd wear it there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you'd wear every layer. There was one time because the way we would always make fun of how technically the way they designed the Gen 3 gear was that you had to wear it by layer in order for it to work efficiently. And so,
when am I ever going to need this? Like,
So I had a detail where I had to do a motor pull guard for like a 4-hour shift, but it was from 1 to 4 a.m. in the dead of winter. And I was like, I'm going to layer all the way up, all the way to my marshmallow outfit. And I did. And I was this giant puffball because you have like 10, 15 layers underneath you. I mean, every piece of, your flannel, your long johns, all the way up to your rain jacket, and then your all that stuff. And I just was this puffed up marshmallow waddling down to the little shack that they had for me, and I just sat there for 4 hours, just freezing balls. There was no heat, no nothing, and I would just do laps in the motor pool just to stay warm, just walking to stay alive. It was that cold, man. It was brutal.
Oh my god, that
sounds
fun. It doesn't let up, and as soon as it's summertime, it just gets all of a sudden it's super hot and muggy, like Fort Knox, Kentucky, and then monsoons would come in and just start pouring rain and flood us out. All our tanks would be all sideways and stuff in the motor pool, and it's just brutal, man. It's a brutal place as weather, yeah. But Korea was actually fun. It's a very it's a place to party if you're a young soldier, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Have you, KZ, did you ever go to Korea at all?
No, I didn't go to Korea. I wanted to just because, other than the sucky weather, the only thing I ever heard about Korea was like or just the only thing I saw about Korea was the guys that came out of Korea were just badass. They knew their job very well just because they were always in the field.
Did a lot of tanking out there, is what we
Yeah,
heard.
that was one thing I was told too. Was like, hey, you're kind of lucky as a tanker to go there because you get to do your job, and it was very, very hands on. And I learned my job, and I learned it quickly because my company actually had a short, not enough E5s, and so because of that, they brought up like 2 or 3 of us to be gunners, and I got to be a gunner as a PFC. Maybe a year in the Army. And then I was just training, and just constantly hitting my tables. And at this time is when I was telling you about those 2 sergeants that kind of took me in. He would bring me to the simulator on the weekends. It didn't matter, just constantly in the simulator, constantly running my drills, constantly learning. And he just kept me busy, kept me out of trouble. And because of that, I got a gunner slot. I got officially selected. It kind of fast-tracked me with promotions. I would do okay on my tables, nothing crazy. I never got like top gun or anything, but I always did well and proficient. And then to go to Korea to hood, and then all of a sudden my unit, I got E6s, E7s who never touched the tank, man. So it was like really weird because I had to like train people how to be on an A2, and I trained on A1s. I trained a little bit on A2s, but then Hood had nothing but A2s, and I had to essentially. They were like, "Who here's ever been on a tank?" And I'm walking in with tanker boots, and like everyone was throwing shade at me. They were like, "Where'd you get those? Why are you wearing those right now?" And I was like, I put in work. Like I've been a gunner for a year and a half, and like he's an E6, and he's never even touched Cadillacs before. So it's just like, what do you want from me, man? Like,
What unit did you go to in
then
Hood?
I had to train him. Like first sergeant was like, anyone who's been on a tank, like we're gonna break off in groups, and like you're gonna run we're just gonna start going and like training how to use this vehicle because that's what we're deploying with. And these guys they came off MRAPs on their last deployment. So
I wonder if you came. What unit did you go to?
2-5.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You were
Black Knights. First
yeah,
cap.
I was
First,
you
first,
weren't in third
first
CR,
division.
were you? Because
yeah, I was first. So it was first division, first battalion, 2-5.
there was a
Black
lot of
Knights.
so we were in that third ACR up there down there in Fort Hood. So there was a lot
Yeah.
of the we were on the MRAPs and we did a lot of Humvees. Our first deployment was like Humvee missions 4 days, and then we did a Humvee missions out of a cop 4 days, and then we did 4 days of Overwatch. So like all I ever did on a tank in deployment was sit on it and watch overnight, just an OP.
Yeah, man, I lived and breathed out of tanks, man, my first 2 years, and dude, that's all I did. I mean, that's all we ever did. It was just, I mean, we were like you were right. We were constantly in the field training. If it was cold and it was a clear day, they're like, let's do some good cold weather training. Let's take the tanks and ride them on ice and just train how to drive in snow and shit. Like, and so like we were constantly doing that shit. Like, let's learn how to go up icy hills and like learn how to like handle when your tank starts sliding and like what to do and like just all that shit. Like, so we were constantly on our tanks, and it was just like it was literally an extension of us. Like if we had nothing to do, we were chilling on the turret, hatches popped, smoking, dipping, just shooting the shit inside. Like we didn't even leave if we wanted to, man. So when they would say, we're going to go out to the field for 2 weeks and you guys aren't like the field where you're sleeping off your tanks, like that was nothing for us. That was just normal. It was when it was like 2-3 months, if we did shit like that, that's where it was kind of pushing it. And we're like, fuck, dude, I'm running out of baby wipes. Like we all stink. Like,
Yeah, we did that. Turner, we did that a couple of times at Fort Hood, but not too often, if I remember correctly. It was
Fort Hood was not like that. Korea was a lot more.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was trained to show that we can train, and then deployed to, like, honestly, dude, our second deployment was like, just go show the world what America can do, is what it felt like,
we
I felt like Captain
70-ton
America,
paper clips.
like in Captain America in the first Avenger, where he's like, like the dog and pony show version of Captain America before he goes and saves all his homies from the thing. You know, I felt like that whole deployment. Like, we're just here to go, burn, 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 we're the army. And then, like, you know, like, oh, Chingy's coming. We gotta show him our tank. And, you know, we had one tank our second deployment. We showed off to fucking the gin blossoms and shit. Who gives a fuck? Give a fuck about the gin blossoms.
When
But
you
anyway,
go service the tank, it's been sitting there untouched.
Yeah, go service the tank. Well, I'm gonna sit in my chew and smoke cigarettes.
You talking about that paperclip out there in front of the talk? Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, the giant weight that we're accountable for.
Yeah, that's crazy how different units are. Because when I went to, Third Armored Cav, you think cavalry or whatever. But I went to my second duty station was at First ID in Fort Riley, Kansas. I was like, I'm never touching a fucking tank again. And then when I went to First ID, I did more tanking shit at First ID than I did at Fort Hood. It's insane.
Yeah.
Not as much. I guarantee you not as much as you did, but I was
Still
like,
compared to what we did at Fort Hood, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
So even then, I can only remember a handful of times where we went out and like actually trained tanks. For the most part, we trained like we did a lot of dismounted operations. Like, we can clear houses like a motherfucker, dude. Like, they would put us up. They would put us up against the Cav Scouts and the infantry, bro. Like in the same squadron, and
I remember we
kept up, if not wiped the floor with them.
Do you remember they put us? They were like, we need it's like, okay, we're gonna have for our platoon, like we're gonna have Alpha sections gonna go on the Black Hawk, and you guys are gonna insert it. And I'm like, and the whole time I'm like, this is cool as fuck. But why the fuck am I doing this?
Right. We did that for a land nav course. Our commander was like, it's so cool. We got the Blackhawks. They're going to come pick us up, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And, like, that's dope. Dope as fuck.
And the whole time I'm like, we're in the Blackhawk, just like, going through the terrain. I'm like, this is not my job. This is so stupid.
Yeah, see, that's funny because if we ever did something like that, it was for a reason. Like, we have this thing in Korea, it's called the Manchu Mile. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but we walked 25 miles in the mountainous terrains of Korea, and it's to commemorate the two nines who marched 80 miles and then went into combat. And so it's kind of like as like a heritage thing within our unit.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the one year they had a really nice special event. They had like Chinooks come in, pick us up, fly us to the DMZ, land, we exfil, we go ahead and form up, and then we just start the track. And it's like right next to the border, so like we could like say what up to the North Koreans and shit. And it was pretty cool. And that but it was for an event. It wasn't like,
right,
hey,
like,
this
that'd
is
be
what
badass.
we're doing.
I'd be all about that. It was like we were just trying to, like, because we had to do land navigation that day, like they were like, let's make it as cool as we can, because we know how much this sucks for our soldiers because they're not tankers anymore. Oof. Like, my job left me, like, I could literally, dude, I'm a janitor. I could qualify as a janitor, which is basically all I am, because I clean up after a 2-year-old nonstop. So, hey, you won. Good job, Army. But
it's just crazy to me that you guys were never really on tanks, man. Like, so I mean, you guys were basically just glorified infantry when you guys were deployed.
We were mechanized infantry.
Oh. Yeah, we were deployed. Yeah. The
get off your tank and follow me.
Like that first
mechanized infantry. Yeah.
Like the first deployment. Like, we actually, I was there for half of it. And Turner, you were there for it too. Like, we rolled out with tanks, but I think on record, Heavy Company, like, we shot the last tank round in combat ever recorded for in history. But like that shit happened after I already came. So like our unit got like our Heavy Company like they got to like actually like do tank shit. But by the time we got there, it was all mountain operations.
Yeah, like our company was like known in our even like squadron in regiment as like one of like, it was like the top like tank company. We had like all the guidons, all the streamers. Like it was Heavy Company, nothing but tankers. The only tank company. Everything else was like troops, Eagle Troop. They had like a tank platoon. They had infantry platoon. They had scout platoons. And then like there was a HHT, which just had like everybody, like the regimental headquarters or squadron headquarters just had a mix of fucking everybody. But I mean, our company was unique because it was so small. I mean, I think at one point we were down to 30-something people after our first deployment. Got back up to around, I mean, I think we deployed around 65, 70 people strong. And that's, I mean, a small unit.
They're so good when they're small, though, man. It's
It's
always
so
the
good,
best.
dude. It is so
Always
tight,
the
and
best.
and then that's the thing is like, you know, leading into even like the next subject we like to talk about is like when you leave like a well-oiled machine like that, like you said, like just even any kind of unit that you've been with it in the Army, in the military, even first responders, as a police officer, firefighter, when you're in that kind of like that brotherhood mentality of like a band of brothers type deal, dude, it's so hard to find that anymore, you know, outside of the military, right?
It's hard to replace.
It's irreplaceable and it's almost unrecreatable. Like no matter what you can do, it's never going to be the same. And I mean, really, what we try to do here is kind of make that like the same. You know, I did it again, going off on the tangent, and I forgot.
I think you're about to lead into about his transitions. How many years did you serve total, Ryan?
I did 4 as well. Yeah.
4 as well.
Yeah.
And Fort Hood was your last duty station.
Yeah. And then I actually drove home.
Place.
I didn't even want. I was like, yeah, because they were like, we can get you out. The way my contract, because I ended up re-upping while I was in for the time that I already originally signed for, so that I could just get another $10,000 signing bonus. I was already gonna do 4 years, and then 2 years in, I was able to re-enlist for another 2 years. So I was like, for another 10K. So I was like, let's do it. And since they did it from the moment I signed, then when I went to Hood after our deployment, when I came back, my unit was supposed to deploy again, except I was essentially gonna have to be stop lost, but they stopped doing that. And so they were just like trying to throw money at me, convince me to go
like
back
you can
again.
Extend.
Yeah, and I was like, man,
they were offering us those too, like an extension. It's not a re-enlistment; it was just like an extension to get you through to deployment, basically, and then the come home and out process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm good. Like, I don't want to go back. Like, I got a kid at home, a little baby at the time, my first kid, and I wasn't married to mom, so the Army, they don't care unless you put a ring on it. So I just was like, I'm good. Like, I did my fight. I did what I needed to do. I'm going home. You know, now I gotta take care of things on the dad side of life.
Where'd you deploy to?
Camp Taji.
Is that
it's more?
Where is that?
It's a little. Let me fucking Google that shit, dude. I don't know how to. Give me a second here. I got you.
I think I remember. Like I feel like I remember Taji. I remember hearing Taji.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta stop clicking the pen. I'm just trying to think.
You guys ever heard of Camp Cook though? At all? No. Yeah. Well, sometimes it's known as that, but yeah, Camp Taji. It's like I guess you could say central Iraq.
So yeah, we would have remembered it from the first deployment then, right? Yeah, because we were in southern Iraq, second deployment, Al-Qut.
Yeah, this is more central.
We were in Mosul, our first deployment.
Is my camera working? There we go. All right.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, we were in Mosul at one of the bigger bases there, Merez and Diamondback. They're like right across the street from each other. Our first deployment, and then our second deployment we were at was called FOB Delta, which was like a major airfield in Al-Qut. It was actually, if you ever watched Generation Kill, there's an episode where they are fighting in the initial the initial invasion coming through Big Dam Bridge, which was like the bridge that they took to secure the airfield that eventually would be FOB Delta. So I always thought that was cool when I seen that shit. It's a cool show.
How long were you in Taji for? 12 months or 15 months?
Yeah, 12. And then the second time they were going to go back, they were going to do 15, and that's why my contract didn't match up. And so I was like, get me out. If you guys aren't going to stop loss me, let me go home. And I drove back because they were like, we can actually get you out even sooner, because they were like, instead of just staying at rear D for like 5 or 6 months, we can cut you sooner, and then you still get paid for that whole time. So I was able to come. Yeah, I was able to. I drove home because that was even going to give me 2 weeks sooner to leave if I decided to drive home, and I did. And I was able to come home. I had a job lined up for me 2 weeks after, like doing bus drive and shit, just to get me working. And so it was nice because I was able to get a check and then get a check from the military at the same time for like 3-4 months.
Riding high, dude. Riding high. You're like,
At
hell
first, yeah. Once that shit dried up, though, dude, it went back to rough living, dude.
Yep. You're like, I wasn't saving shit. I got truck payments. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck.
man.
They're coming to get my shit. That was me, though. Like, yeah. All of a sudden, the truck payments stopped going out, and I'm like, man, they're going to come get this motherfucker one day.
You start parking it in the garage instead of the street.
I didn't think, dude, I bought it off of Fort Hood Street. I had no idea that these motherfuckers would, like, come to St. Louis and find it, dude. One night, they knock on my door at, like, 3 in the morning, dude, and I'm back in, like, North St. Louis County, where it's, I mean, it's not, like, not a neighborhood where at 3 o'clock in the morning your doorbell rings, you really, like, want to answer it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, who the fuck is at my door, right? And at this time, like, I'm still, like, fresh out of the Army, kind of, I would say, like, not in the best place mentally. So I, like, always had a gun close to me, dude. So, like, I, like, at one point was, like, sitting on the other side of the door with my pistol in my hand, like, dude, who the fuck is knocking on my door? And I look out, and they're, like, going through my truck, and I'm like, I got the keys in my hand. Like, who? And I finally, like, Florissant police pulled up. So that's when I put the pistol down, and I walked outside, and I'm like, hey, you know, what's going on? And then they had called the cops because they were like, you know, 3 in the morning, they're there to repo the truck. And I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, well, can I grab some shit out of it at least? Like, and the cop was like, what are you trying to get? And I was like, well, I got 2 9mm magazines in the glove box that I need to grab. And then she got like all fucking like, and I was like, I swear to God, the pistol's inside. Like, I just want to get that. And then like, maybe I was like, if I had a stereo system and shit, I was like, how long do I got? Can I pull the subs out? Like, nope.
Right?
Like, fuck. That's all I was worried about, man. But, hey, you know, like you said, dude, like you riding high and you get out and then that you do it smacks you quick. Like, we had kind of referenced it like a train, dude. Like, that train kept picking up momentum, and then as soon as like, you don't stop. Once we joined the Army, once we started basic, once we got off that bus, it doesn't stop. And you keep picking up all this weight and all this shit. And like you said, like earlier when we were talking, like, you know, like resentment towards negative leadership, anger, you're holding on to shit, or, you know, and that, for me, it kind of like really caught up to me in that time frame right when I got out. So was that something that you kind of dealt with as well? Like, especially after that, like that double dip kind of?
Yeah. When I first got out, it was definitely awkward. Cause it was very weird to go like from go and having that that own responsibility to, like, you know, I got to watch everyone's back. I got to make sure everyone's doing okay. Check in on everyone, the platoon, to like not having that responsibility anymore. It was really weird because I'd find myself still wanting to be like, are you guys doing good? Like, is everything solid? And like, what can I do from here? But then I was like, you know,
Right.
I'm not in the Army no more. Like, there's nothing I can do. So,
and the Army goes rolling along, dude. They got the mission, and it's nothing personal, but they're on their next move, you know.
So it felt weird knowing that this is the start of the end of a brotherhood that I'll know I'll always have, but it's not going to be as prevalent in my day-to-day life. And it was really weird because it kind of just seemed like everything was everything was just slow. everything around. People were walking slow. People were, driving
Yeah.
slow. Like everything wasn't like, come on, like I got to do this, and it's gonna take 2 or 3 days. And I was like, I can get it done today. Let's go. Like,
Oh yeah.
it just.
No one's moving with a purpose in the civilian
No.
world.
Yeah,
dude.
and so it filled me with a lot of
It's the
anger.
biggest
I had
thing.
a lot of anger when I got out, and I actually got fired from a lot of jobs because of my temper with like, hey, let's fucking go, let's get this done, dude. Like, what are you guys all bitching about? Or like that, and it wasn't
Everything
vibing with
felt life
civilians.
or death, didn't it? Like you never really took care of that. Like, because in the Army, it was like if you didn't do your job, right? Like you're trained. Like if you don't do your job, someone dies. If you don't do this, someone could die. If you don't do this, someone could die. So then all of a sudden, I'm cooking at a restaurant. Like, motherfucker, if this steak doesn't go out medium rare, dude, people are gonna fucking die. Not like really, but like in my head, dude, everything's that serious,
Yeah.
And that shit's hard to let go of. So I mean, I feel you there for sure.
Yeah, I still have anger issues. I still have a lot of issues that I need to go to counseling or continue to go to counseling, and if I ever achieve a good counselor that can help me with my anger. But it's something I deal with today that I think I've even had before I joined the Army, but the Army really helped bring it out after I got out. Like that whole like feeling of like I don't
unlock
have a
that
purpose
monster.
anymore. Yeah, exactly. And that's just my kids kind of help me calm down, believe it or not, because I have to really evaluate how I'm, whether it be punishment or scolding or just like a temporary correction or bringing them back to their lane or anything like that. I have to really, kind of think about how I'm doing it, because I'm leaving a permanent impact on them, on how they need to handle these situations when they find themselves in these situations. And if I go about it like I'm in the military, dude, it's not going to be good for them. So I try,
No, not at all,
I
dude,
think
not at
about
all.
that first. And so I try and take that and just be like, if I'm pissed off at the line I'm waiting in or the people in the fucking store, I look at them like they're my child and be like, how would I handle this situation if I was dealing with my 4-year-old right now? And that kind of helps me out a little bit, but it doesn't always.
I'll take that. I'll take that one because
Yeah.
I drive my wife nuts in public sometimes with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
like, why are these motherfuckers moving so damn slow? It took 30 minutes to get food. And I'm just like, she's like, just relax. Like,
Yeah.
I wish.
That's yeah, I commend you for that, for as a parent, as a dad, for taking that step before
Absolutely.
before interacting with your children on those specific scenarios. I mean, I myself, like, I try to do that. We all try to do that, but even today, like I fail a lot. Like today, I knife handed my daughter today, for using for using mom's towel. And I because my wife wasn't even mad about it. She's like, Charlie she used my towel. Like, go ask her why she used my towel. And I was like, I don't know why. And I was like, all right, all right. It's like, I walked to the living room. It's like, yo, why'd you use mom's towel? Use your own towel. And she was just like, because I was wet. There was a towel. I was like, go get that fucking towel and put it back in my bathroom. And I could hear my wife back in our bathroom was like, it's really not a big deal. I was like, okay, it's not a big deal.
It's really one
I
day
thought
at
I
a
had your
time,
back.
dude. Yeah, you're,
dude.
I still struggle. I still have
Yeah.
my moments. I'm not perfect at
Oh,
all.
dude.
I
And
just,
that's one thing that I need
that's
people
what
to understand.
that's my
is
technique.
Nobody is. Yeah, like
That's a
nobody's
good-
perfect. We're not here telling you that we live a perfect life and we're acting like we got our shit together.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
yo,
good
like
technique.
the reason we get to do this is because the broken attract the broken, and together we can heal.
Yeah.
Like I truly believe that. Like I don't like fucking talking to counselors either, dude. But I love doing this shit. And then just because I get to talk to my friends and like we're having like real honest conversations about something that people don't really like to talk about, dude. Is fucking feelings, man. Like
Yeah.
people keep that shit bottled up, and then they wind up just checking out one day because they don't know how to process or talk about their feelings. And that's like a lot of the anger issues lie for me personally in not being able to express my feelings without being like fuck or just like some bullshit over nothing, dude, over like literally nothing, bro. And I don't want my kid to ever see that shit. And like unfortunately he has in his 2 years, and like in the times where I do stuff and I can see that scared look on his face, I'm just like, man, like I hope with God I'll never remember this shit, but like I promise you, dude, I'm never gonna do that again. And every time I think about it, and I'm working really hard not to do that shit. So, I mean, it's definitely tough, but like the kids make it worth it.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's the daily victories that you got to count up. You can't look at like who like as a whole. You can't sit there and be like, is this a man that I want to turn into, and I want it to happen now, and I want it to be for the rest of my life. Like it's a daily struggle. It's a daily thing, and then when those days add up, then it's a testament to the type of person you are. So. You got to celebrate the daily victories is pretty much what I'm saying. You can't just overlook them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise, man, then what's the point? Because like that's all we're doing is living day by day. Ants on a rock in space, man. That's all we are. Like there's no
That's true,
purpose.
man.
There's it's just a void of cold emptiness out there. And when you die and break down to your base elements and return back to the universe, dude, that's it. So like
Yeah.
every day has got to matter to you every day, and it's not worth being angry. It's not worth resenting. If your girl pissed you off, if your kids are pissing you off, it's just let that shit go at the end of the day, man. Shower, relax, hug your kids, watch a movie or something. Count it as a win still. That's how I do
Yeah,
it, man.
dude. Live in the small moments where you're truly happy. Like catch yourself. Like I catch myself looking at my kids sometimes, and I'll just be like,
Yeah.
and then
They
like
keep
I don't know how long
trying,
go by,
man.
and then I'm just like, he's so amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when my wife's around, I'll just look at him. I'm like, babe, isn't he fucking amazing? And she's just like, yeah. I'm trying to read a book. And I'm like, but like, look at him.
Yeah, man.
but
You
but,
um,
man,
That's what it
you
is.
touched
Man.
it. You touched it. I think you said it like a couple times. Purpose. Like that's. I think that's what a big struggle for a lot of our other brother and sister service members and veterans that when we get out, like trying to find that purpose, and sometimes it takes longer than it takes a decade. I feel like I just found mine 3 years ago, and I've been out for almost 10 years. So, how's that journey been for you? Have you found it? Are you still looking for it?
It's interesting for me, and not to like go off on this whole weird way of thinking that I think of,
Dude,
but
do
I
it.
was just
Go.
having a
Go,
I was just
go
having
off.
a
I want to hear it.
conversation with someone about the meaning of life, purpose, and like what
Yes.
the whole like what's our like find something that you love to do. And I was trying to explain how careers and personal interests and things and whatever it is you want to do, those are second to like a main goal of life. And that goal is whatever, I like to say, imagine the Grim Reaper is taking you and he lets you turn around and look at your life. What is it that you've done that's going to make you accept whatever's next and be happy that you're leaving it behind? Like, what have you done that it's going to make you smile? It's going to make you like, man, I'm glad I had this life. That's your goal. Whatever that is, whatever it is that's going to make you turn around and look at your life and be like, I live that shit. That's your main goal. Whatever after that, careers, love interests, life, all that, that's second to your main goal. And that, I feel like, is subjective to everyone. So it's hard to find a purpose, but if you can make your own purpose, if you can look at the world differently and not think that a career means purpose, that money means purpose, success, or because even success is subjective. I got this guy down here who's homeless. He lives outside. He loves life. He's living.
Oh,
He's like, I love this shit. If it wasn't for my kids, I'd be a fucking nomad, dude. I'd be all over the world. I'd be traveling by van. I'd be living essentially like a homeless dude, just living life. Like I'd be like, yeah, like I slept in Yosemite yesterday, and I'm gonna head up to Montana and like check out the other
I
side of
would love that
Yellowstone.
shit,
Like,
dude.
yeah,
I would
like
love that shit.
that's living for me, man. That's like making that journey and like sitting out there and like smoking a blunt or something and looking out over the mountains that's winning. That's my purpose. I'm enjoying my planet. I'm enjoying what I want to do. Like all that stuff. So it really depends on who you are and what you think is your purpose. But it's not hard to find one if you can answer that question. What can you look back after you've done living life, and what's going to make you smile? What's going to make you comfortable going into this next transition of death, this eternal nothingness or heaven, whatever you believe. But
Right.
what's going to make you comfortable leaving the world behind? If you can accomplish that, you've done it. You've accomplished the meaning of life, and you also have a purpose to accomplish throughout your life. So I look
Yeah,
at things
like-
differently.
Dude.
Yeah,
That's
I look
so
at
good,
things.
dude.
I don't
I'm
look
clipping
at
the
like,
shit out of that.
yeah, I don't look at like, oh, I'm this kind of, I'm a VP of this, or I work here. I've made it. I've won life. Like, no, dude,
Nah, dude, you just
yeah,
did
like,
good at that
you
one
just
thing.
did good at one aspect, a small aspect of it, and a really unimportant aspect. Because when you die, that company's still, everything's still moving. The planet's still rotating
dude.
around the sun, man. Like, so do something that's gonna change something. That's gonna, make things better. Whether it be you plant a freaking tree, or, you just give someone some money, or a snack for the day. Whatever it is, man. It's so easy to have a purpose and to have daily goals for something that's gonna keep you going to the next day, mentally,
Hell yeah.
physically, and it sucks because we have a lot of brothers that don't do that and don't look at things like that, and they take things too seriously when they get out. They want the army to keep going for them, even though they're not in it.
Yeah.
And they learn real quickly that's not how life works, and so they don't think that they belong anymore, and so they try and take themselves out of the equation. And
Yeah.
that's why I try and tell people, it's a lot easier than you think to find a purpose if you just look at things a little differently. Look at what matters most. And look at the reality of things. We really are just these small primitive creatures living on a rock that's floating in space. That's really it.
Yeah.
So if you
Hashtag
can
Joe
look
Rogan.
at things, if you can look at things from there inwards, and you can really have a bigger perspective on things and realize none of that shit's important. None of the shit that's pissing me off, none of the shit that makes me feel, whether it be suicidal, depressed, it's all irrelevant at the end of the day.
It
So
truly is, dude.
Yeah.
Because at the
that's
end of the
how-
day, like if you were to check out, you leave behind that pain, sometimes in tenfold to the people that love you. I mean, there's people. I mean, not to foreshadow too much, we have a guy coming on soon who made an attempt at his own life and lived to tell the story. So I mean, there's people out there that that live through that stuff, and really just kind of
I'd love
the
to
story.
see his perspective now on what he thinks about life and like what his purpose is. I'd be interested to hear.
Actually, it
what he
looks like
thinks
his
about
purpose
that.
is great. His perspective on life is even better from what I've learned. Well, shit. I mean, we could say his name. He's going to be on our show. So his name's Tony Dayton. I'll send you his Facebook or whatever. But we talked a little bit about him on our episode with Eddie Lowry. Eddie Lowry from Eddie Lowry Off the Deep End. We got to do that. So he's, we reached out to him. KZ actually sent him a message like, dude, like we really want your story told on our show, just because we think that it could really help people, and specifically like that's
Absolutely.
like from the moment that he decided to do that, the second, like the millisecond after it, he decided he wanted to be alive, and seems to have made his purpose about helping as many people as he possibly can. And I mean, this thing, it's like you said, like that purpose, like this thing here is giving me purpose, and I'm starting to even like a little community organization here. I live in a town of 800 people. I made a post about like how many veterans are in town, and like I got like over 100 likes and comments, and now I got a place to host a monthly meeting. We're going to be getting people together, so hopefully,
Barbecue.
we just keep barbecues every month out here, Kindred, North Dakota. You're going to have to come up, KZ, because they're going to want to meet the other half. One of these nights on Turret Talks, I'm just going to pop on. I'm going to be in a fucking in a restaurant with like 60 other dudes, 60 veterans hanging out.
That's fucking cool, dude.
It's gonna be cool, man. So I mean, like you said, like it's not hard to find purpose, and sometimes purpose gets dumped on your lap, and you're not even really looking for it.
I don't mean to take that away from people who are legitimately struggling to find a purpose.
Absolutely,
it is a problem that a lot of people have. Like I said, I just look at the world differently. I look at life differently. I tend to be a lot more comfortable with easier living, lower standards. I don't look for the higher end of things, whether it be clothes, cars, people, items, my couch, just everything. I tend to keep things on the low end, and it's easier for me mentally. It doesn't stress me out, and so it's just up to everybody, and everyone's got their own struggles, and it's pretty cool that you guys are providing a place like this where they can come and talk about things and let that out. And
hell yeah, dude.
yeah, we're hoping to to help as many and save as many as we can. But ultimately, I mean, like down the road, all the people that we've had on, I mean, you're joining a network of people that you didn't know yet. There's 14 other people before you that came on, or however many, and shared their story. And you're connected to them. You're connected to everybody else that's going to come on in the future, whether it be veterans, whether it be we're going to start talking to some first responders. I have a buddy of mine that was involved in an officer-involved shooting in Colorado. He's going to be on, not in the sometime near future. We haven't booked him yet, but he's back to work and, busy. So we'll get him whenever he can.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, like, this thing is, like, it's the main goal was ultimately to knock down the stigma that it's fucking weak to talk about mental health. I think Patty the Batty said it the best, Patty Pimblett, or he's like, men don't talk about their mental health, man. They just check out. They feel like they're a burden to their friends. They feel like they're a burden to everyone in their life, and they would rather just check out and not talk because pulling the trigger is easier than talking about your feelings. It only takes this much to pull the trigger, but you know how much it takes to sit here and like truly like dig into yourself and then spill it out for, presumably the world to hear, but like right now, just like 20 people,
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting too, because I've seen a lot of, I don't feel like that's always the case, when it's like the boys talking, and when we have something like a platform like this where we're all just kind of, shooting the shit. Cause like, I feel like more than ever, men are, speaking their minds and telling their feelings, but mostly to their own boys, when they're on the game, and they're on the chat room and, like here, for instance. But like, yeah, you're right. So like your kids or your family, your mom or your wife or husband or anything like that, they tend not to, more often than not. But at least now we have more outlets where like, we can meet up, talk like this. I can get
all
on my
across the
Xbox.
country right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so it's pretty cool because now is a time more than ever in our country where mental health is a serious issue. And for some reason it's not being addressed like it should, right?
Yeah. It's still hard to talk about. It's still hard for people to even like be like, yeah, I listened to your show and I like what you said, because I mean, even that is admitting that like yourself, you might have mental issues that you don't.
Well, it's
that registered with you when you heard someone talking about, like
it's such a taboo subject to talk about because we haven't gotten it right. I mean, look what we used to do to people with mental health back in the 50s with the hospitals that we had back then and stuff. And so we've never really figured it out. And so I want to say
give it a pill and put it in the corner.
Yeah, I want to say in the 90s or early 2000s is kind of when we started brushing things under the rug and just kind of like, hey, let's put that on the back burner for now and not worry about it. And we never addressed it, and that's why we've never really solved the mental health problem. And we're still struggling with it today as a society, as a nation. As you see, there, I mean, school shootings and other things are running more rampant than ever.
Oh,
I
dude,
mean,
it's a weird fucking world to live in these
yeah,
days.
and it's a problem that everyone's too afraid to address. They'd rather look at other things and blame other things instead of address the problem. And so because of that, we're just continuously brushing it under the rug and ignoring it, and that's not solving the problem at all. So it's cool that, you know, we have places now, podcasts, chat rooms, you know, gaming consoles, where we can kind of let those out in some way instead of fully bottling it up. So,
hell yeah.
you guys are definitely appreciated.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Well, I mean, you're appreciated as well, just for even, like, as much as soon as I hit you up and you were like, wait, what? Like, fuck yeah, it wasn't even a hesitation.
Man, yeah,
there was
you know me, I'm
nothing.
an
You're like,
open
oh, my
book, man.
battle needs me 15 years
Dude,
later?
yeah.
I'm there.
Battle! Fuck, dude.
And I mean, that's it's a beautiful thing that, like, some people don't get. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't even
that's
want to
yeah,
go
that's
off on
another
that
thing.
tangent, but, you know,
Yeah.
you could be surrounded by people who treat you like they want the best for you, but you'll never really feel like they do, and until you get around people that really, really give a shit, you know the difference, and then you just can't unsee the real. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't want to be around anything that's, I don't know, non-conducive to your mental health once you start going on that journey.
Yeah.
Like, things that piss me off, it's like, well, why do I want to be part of something that pisses me off, or why do I
You
want to
just
do
start
this?
recognizing those
Especially if
triggers,
it's something I
those
can't
flags.
change. I can't change
Oh,
people.
yeah.
You can't change people.
Yeah.
You know, you just go about your business. I got nothing but love for people that I've stopped being in contact with, and, you know, like, unfortunately, when you go through a mental health journey, some people, they just don't get to come with you, and it's usually by
Yeah.
that's usually by their choice. But it's just the way the world works.
It's dead
you know?
weight, man. Yeah, you gotta cut loose for the
Like,
birds, man.
I could surround myself with yes men if I wanted to, and then no one would ever tell me, hey, you're fucking up, or, you know, they could tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know. We wouldn't go even further into that, but that's
I mean,
personal.
let's talk. Well, how was Ryan? How was your support system when you got out? Did you I know you said you had your girl, and when you got out, you had your girl and your
Yeah, things
your
were
baby.
wonky when I first got out. I luckily for me, I did have at least some support system. It's not, thank God, I did not just get released back into the wilderness, bro, on my own accord with
Right.
no one. I would, yeah, it would not be, and dude, that's why when I hear people just raw dogging life like that when they get out of the army, they're like, ah, dude, yeah, my family's dead, like, I got no mom or dad, like, I'm just gonna head back to the streets of Oklahoma. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you better re-up and quick, man, like,
Yeah,
like, you get food every day, you know that, right? You ain't gonna get that out there, like,
right.
and that's enough for them to be like, I'll consider 4 more years, you know, like, but for me, I had my mom, if I needed really anything at the time. I kind of had my dad, me and my dad, we don't really have a relationship right now. But, it was what it was. And then I was also dealing with, you know, having my first kid, me and the mom not really being together at that time, trying to figure out, you know, what I can do as a dad, and also how to maintain myself, you know, get a job, try and look for places to live. It was just, even though I did have at least a foundation for me to stand on, it was very, very rocky and wobbly when I first started. And then, like I said, I was also dealing with anger issues, not being able to hold down a job because of my anger. Just, it was a rough year, I would say, until I started to calm down and I kind of got used to the pace of civilian life, because that was the hardest thing, was just the go to just silence and slowness, and everyone just kind of moving like they ain't got nothing to do for the next 3 days. It was really weird for me. So and then about a year after is when I started kind of planting my roots a little bit, getting a more secure job, figuring out what I wanted to do, you know, getting my Class A license, started truck driving, getting a career going, something that I could do for the time that was going to help, I would say, my family. I didn't even really want to do it. My girl pushed me to do it. I didn't really care about driving trucks, but it sounded good at the time. And
Yeah.
and then it was cool. I got to see America pretty much, and it was awesome, and it pays really well. So I
That's awesome,
wasn't
dude.
upset about it. Yeah. And then I came home after doing that for a little bit, found a local job, and just been kind of in that industry since. And if it wasn't for, I would say, if it wasn't for my mom, I probably would be, who knows where, man. Who knows, honestly. I couldn't
That's
say.
awesome, dude.
Yeah. If it wasn't for my kid, honestly, because he's what kept me coming home to San Diego, I'd probably still be in the Army, honestly. He's the only reason why I got out. So,
And now you have 2 kids, right?
yeah, now I have two. Same mom, too. We decided to
Awesome, dude.
double down on our mistake, so.
Good for you.
We were like, let's throw another one in the mix and see what happens, dude. And honestly, our second kid's like our fucking first kid, because our first kid was perfect, dude. Never cried, does whatever we told him, ate all his vegetables, ate whatever we put in front of him. As a kid, as a 3-year-old, as a 4-year-old, as a 6-year-old, no problems. This little demon comes out and he doesn't listen to shit, dude. He doesn't listen to anything. He tells us no. We literally, I consider him my first kid because I've never had to deal with this. So this is all new. I've been a parent for 6-7 years by the time he was born, and it's like day one for me. I'm like, going to basic training, but to be like artillery or something, you have no idea. Like, you're like, I've done this before, but not really, like.
Oh yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Like
And
we have 4, and out of the 4, my wife pretty much single-handedly raised the 3 of them. And when we got out, we got out, and we had our youngest, and that was like, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what do I have to? She's like,
That's
this
a
is what
diaper?
this is what dads do. I was like, okay. Like, how do I? Yeah. So I totally get it. Our youngest to me feels like my first one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
he's
doesn't
wild,
listen-
man.
he doesn't
So
listen for shit.
it's just been a ride, man, and I've really been enjoying life, and I've kind of I'm kind of like living through them. Like, I'm like putting my, like, hey, I liked Pokemon, so like you should watch Pokemon. And they're like, Dad, I don't want to watch Pokemon. I'm like, you're watching Pokemon, dude. Like, you're
Yeah,
learning.
it's gonna teach you valuable life lessons.
Yeah, like I would do shit like that, whatever it is, Star Wars. Like, I make them watch Star Wars and stuff like that. I get their childhood right, and then I just kind of let them live. I let them make decisions, but I always give them options. I give them 2 options that I want and let them choose. So it makes them feel like they have some sort of independence. So yeah, when it comes to like, you could
I've
have
been doing that with snack time because
Yeah.
he'll just go into the damn pantry and then like pull out 12 snacks. I'm like, no, dude. I was like, now I'm like, walk over to the pantry myself, grab applesauce or yogurt, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you want? He's like, and I'm like, all right, and I put it back in there. I shut the door and I go sit down. And he's like,
Yeah.
where's my snack?
I just
Like,
I
you
just
didn't get the
love-
one.
Yeah, it's everything, man. Even hearing them talk and then make the choice, it's just so great to just see that. And I live through them every day, man. I live through all the choices they make, the way my oldest, he's doing this TED Talk thing, and I'm just like, bro, I would never talk to a group more than 4 people before I start getting nervous, dude. Like,
What?
that's too many
cool.
people. He gets up on stage. He rides on upside down roller coasters, bro, by himself. When I was his age, I couldn't even go on with my best friend or my mom or nobody, dude. I was
I
terrified.
love roller
Still
coasters,
am.
dude.
Still
I love
am.
that shit.
This kid will just
Hate
get
heights, but I
wanna
love
ride
roller
that.
coasters.
He's crazy. They're all crazy. That's why I'm like, to see them live their life and become their own person. It's great. It's kind of like my purpose, it's just to watch them succeed and make their choices and see what kind of person and people they're evolving into, man. It's something else, man. And I enjoy it. I love every day of it. I love taking pictures and being, telling dad jokes, and I
got
do all
so
the
many pictures in
embarrassing
my
shit
phone,
when I
dude, of
drop
my
them off
kid.
at school. I've embraced dad life, dude, and I love it, man. I even got a nice little belly going. I love
Oh
it,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Dad life.
I'm loving it, dude.
kept my belly from chef life and just transferred over to dad life. Really nice.
Yeah.
But it still looks like if I suck it in and stand at like a 45, dude, I still look like, hey, he's kind of in shape. But then I stand front 40 like, oh, he's got tits. That's all right. He likes breads and fucking desserts.
You look better laying down, dude.
Yeah, that motherfucker ain't never said no to a cheesecake. Like, you're damn right.
Bro, I used to get that all the time in basic training, man. They used to
Are you eating a
hate me
fucking
for getting
cheeseburger?
hamburgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get your battle. God damn it.
Yeah.
Come see me. Come see me private. You can eat whatever you want, they said.
Yeah.
Remember the day before the gas chamber, they were fucking coming by like, anybody want milk? Anybody want milk? I'm like, don't fucking take the milk, battle. Don't take the milk.
Seconds, bro. We went for seconds. They were like, y'all want more? And we were like, fuck it, dude. Let's get seconds.
I'm throwing up everywhere,
that
bitch.
chow was good that day. It was good. We didn't care, dude. We were like, yo, usually it's not this fire. Like, it was good. Everything was hot. Like, everything was like fresh. And we were like, let's do it, bro. It's usually cold.
Lunch and march into the thing the next morning or whatever. So, or no, like right after lunch we went. So yeah, it was like straight out. Fuck.
Yeah, after that,
I'd do it again though.
My sinuses were
My eyes
clear
are open.
today.
My arms are flapping.
I could smell tomorrow, dude. Like it was insane after that, dude.
I just remember I remember getting in there, and I'll stop interrupting you after this, Bout, and I swear to God.
No, you're good.
But, I remember when they were, he was like, the Soldier's Creed, and then everyone started screaming the Soldier's Creed in their gas masks, and then he's like, oh, no, take your fucking masks off, and he takes his mask, Drill Sergeant Angle, he took his mask off and was just like, the Soldier's Creed, and he starts ripping it, dude, and so I'm like, yeah, we could do this, and I just remember and then everybody was like, within that first, before even most people said, it was...
I cheated that
Drill
whole
Sergeant
time,
Angle was
bro.
actually our senior drill, the one I told you about in the last episode, where I fucking got caught sleeping on fire guard.
On fire guard? It's only an hour, man.
Yeah, it was 3 a.m. We haven't aired the episode yet, but I was sleeping. This must have been after you and me weren't battles anymore because they split us up. But
yeah,
I was on fire guard, dude, and I fucking laid down on the top of the sheets. You know how we used to sleep with the fucking beds made?
Yeah, because we never.
We didn't want to make that shit, so we just slept on top of the blankets.
Put your shirt on every night. Put your shirt on, bro. I'm like, it's hot. It's the Fort Knox heat, man.
So I fucking I laid down, I had my shoes on, and he fucking I remember him shines light in my face. He's like, "Why you got your shoes on, Private? Take your shoes off." And I'm like, "Roger, Drill Sergeant." So I fucking crawl back into bed, right, and go back to sleep.
Gotcha.
And I think 5-10 minutes later, he's like, "Where's my fucking fire guard at?" And I'm like, I fucking put my shoes back on. I go up to him, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm the fire guard, Drill Sergeant. That's my bad."
If I was awake, bro, I would have been like, "He's over here, Drill Sergeant." I would have called you right out, bro.
He took me down to his office, dude, and basically, because it was 3 a.m. and no one else was up, so he was actually pretty cool about it. I think because of the situation, he told me to go back to sleep. I'm like, I was the one that was sleeping with my shoes on. You told me to go back to sleep, so I just figured I was good. I just followed directions.
You just doing what you told, bro. I ended up getting the nickname Sandman at Fort Hood because I kept falling asleep everywhere. I'd fall asleep anywhere and everywhere. I'd just pass out whenever I could, and they'd be like, "Fucking Sandman's got funk again, man." And they one time I was going down the line. We've just been up for 72 hours, no sleep. Our whole unit's been wide awake for 72 hours, and it was nighttime going into the 4th morning. And they had me in the Humvee riding the line down the tanks and picking up all the 50 cals and throwing them in the back. And I fucking fell asleep when I was driving, and I ended up drifting for 100 feet, and I just kept hearing people "Hey, stop!" And all of a sudden all of a sudden the Humvee bumps, and I look up, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm all kitty cornered with a tank. I smacked into a tank, and my platoon sergeant comes up to me. He's like, "Are you okay, man?" And I was like, I don't even remember falling asleep, sorry, honestly. And I was like, I was just awake a second ago. And he's like, well, you weren't now. Like, like I didn't even know what I was saying. I was saying some stupid shit. I was like, I was just awake a second ago, sorry. Like, what the fuck's happening?
Right, like, obviously you fell
like,
fucking asleep.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what happened. You were there. You saw it. What happened? Like, I was so out of it, man. He's like, you'll be good, man. You'll be good. Just 2 more hours and you can go sleep. And then they wanted us back at formation in 4 hours. So that ain't going to happen at all. Everyone's on 72 hours and no sleep, and you want us back in formation in 4 hours? No one showed up, bro. The entire company got smoked, bro. I was like,
good.
What did you expect?
Sleeping in.
Yeah, that was crazy, though. After that, everyone was calling me Sandman and shit because I always be sleeping everywhere. Every chance I
still
get.
do that today?
Who is that?
Could you still do that today? Sleep anywhere?
Yeah, but now the problem is I don't wake up as easily. I used to wake up super easy, like on the drop of a dime. Dude, I'll have my kid like having a nightmare run into me, and he'll be screaming in my face, and he still has to shake me to like wake. Like I don't wake up, so it terrifies me actually because I'm like, fuck, dude, if something happens, I'm dead. Like,
oh shit.
Someone
Just
breaks
tell your
in,
kid
I ain't gonna hear shit.
Get a low voltage taser, dude. Just hey,
yeah.
If the house ever catches on fire, just come in and zap your dad, dude. Just
I still do the
up.
trick from basic though. I always tell him, I say, tap my foot, hit my boot, like, because that wakes you up. It like jolts me awake every time, man. I don't know what it is, but getting kicked in the foot, it like makes me jolt awake. And I always tell him, I go, shake my foot, I'll wake up, man, every time.
Hey, he's coming.
Yeah, just
grab your shit.
that shit pisses my wife off how easy I can fall asleep. Because I'm that way. I can fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah.
My wife can fall asleep at the drop of a dime, dude. And then I'm the one that's like, I can't, and it takes me a while to fall asleep because I'm thinking all the time, constantly. Fuck, as soon as I lay down, I'm just like, what can I do tomorrow? What can I do this?
Well, that's the only time I can't sleep. Is when I'm supposed to sleep, but other than that, I can fucking sleep anywhere.
But when I fall asleep, I'm out though.
Because you weren't sleeping. That's what it is. Now you're tired, and you're like, fuck.
Well, then you got something. You got to wake up for something at 7 a.m. You're like, well, if I fall asleep right now, it's 10 o'clock. I'll get this many hours of sleep, and then like 3 hours later, you're like, fuck, man, like I just lost 3 hours of sleep. I've been sitting here. And then it's like you don't want to pick up your phone. You don't want to do anything because you're trying to fall asleep. You feel like if you open your fucking eyes, you got to restart it. Like, that's how I am anyway. I don't know.
Jesus.
It's weird, dude. It sucks, bro. I hate it. That's why I be texting your ass at like 2 in the morning like, bro, I got ideas about the podcast. And you're like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep.
I've been there, but that's definitely like an ADH thing, man. It's just because you got so much you want to accomplish. You got... Yeah. Your purpose is so, like, I got so much I need to do, and you feel like you still got a lot to do. So that's what it is. It's just your brain trying to keep you going, man. It's a survival thing. It's science, bitch. Like, you ain't gonna be able to change it.
Just accept it.
Yeah.
It's so hypocritical when my kid, I think my kids, like, I think my 12-year-old asked me the other day in the car, it's like, I can't sleep. It's like, how do I just go to sleep? And I give her all these sleeping tips, and she's like, Dad, you don't sleep ever. This doesn't work for you. It's like, I know it's science. It'll work for you though. Just do as I say, not as I do.
I did do like a sleep training thing where it was like a sleep study or whatever when I was in the Army, and I remember they fucking told me how to fall asleep, and it's one thing that does work sometimes, but it's like you start at your toes, right, and you flex your toes as hard as you can flex your toes, like you're flexing your muscles for 10 seconds, and then you, like, as you release,
up, dog, I'd be like, ah!
Right, I'm like, ah! Charlie horse, babe! No. But, like, and then, you release it with your breath. And then you go to your calves, and then you go, like, you just work your way up, and then, like, by the time you get to the top of your head, you're supposed to be asleep. Like, that shit didn't work. I was there for 2 hours fucking flexing, and I'm, like, tired.
That shit's probably made up, man.
I'm tired, man. I can't fall asleep, and you guys are supposed to be studying my sleep, and I don't know what to do. Like, why can't you just come over to my house, study my sleep in my own bed, motherfucker? I'm sitting here in a goddamn
10-year-old is
chair.
what happened, bro. And some 12-year-old was like, I'm gonna make some fucking dipshit crinkle his toes and stretch out his legs and think that he's gonna fall asleep. That shit ain't real, bro. You mean there's no way you fall asleep? Just close your eyes, bro. That's how you fall
It doesn't
asleep.
work. That shit
It
don't work.
doesn't work. Yeah, no shit.
I'll be sitting there like,
You just flex for 60 seconds. All these different parts of your body. You've actually increased blood flow to all these parts of your body, waking you up more.
Fuck,
You
now,
did the
now,
opposite.
now I'm warmed up. Now I want to go run or some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
those motherfuckers, dude, they always had the mission first, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, teach this motherfucker that he doesn't need sleep.
Oh,
Sergeant, I
shit.
can't sleep. Go to the sleep study.
I
Dummy.
never had a
Damn
problem with that, dude. I used to go to bed early.
it. Such an idiot.
While y'all were up writing notes and shit, and I was sleeping, man. Any chance I could get, because it was a precious moment
Boy,
to be able to sleep
I
in the
couldn't
army.
sleep in basic for shit, dude. Wells fucking snoring every night made me the most
Oh, that shit was
irate
all about me,
motherfucker.
man.
7 nights a week.
Yeah, and then when
Like-
Epley got his teeth, that shit kept me up for like 3 days, dude. It gave me nightmares. Seeing a man with no teeth for 3-4 weeks, and then all of a sudden he's got these.
He's like,
Yeah, I'm
super
like,
huge
Jesus Christ,
veneer
dude. It's like that
dentures,
movie
dude.
Smile. Yeah, that movie Smile, dude. That's what it was like, dude. He's just sitting there,
It was.
just smiling at me, dude. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Epley? He's like, I'm
Take
just
your
thinking.
teeth out.
I'm just, yeah, take them out, bro. Like, I don't want to fucking see you just smiling, dude. Like,
Dude was
It
like
was
41 years old and joined the army just to get his teeth fixed.
he did.
He even said that he didn't give a
asked
fuck.
him, yeah, I said, why did you tell me? He goes, they said they give me teeth. And I'm like, you ain't
Oh,
fucking dude.
God, dude.
Yeah, they will, bro. They will. They'll give you teeth.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, our platoon was like the bad news bears of that company, bro.
We
Like, no
were,
shit.
dude. And
They were like
Seamer's
anytime there was
fucking
like a platoon on platoon comp, like physical competition, like, yo, 4th platoon ain't winning that shit.
Yeah, but we were
But-
the most loudest motherfuckers doing it.
We're
dude.
gonna have so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, we didn't get through the obstacle course as fast as everybody else. Like, we went through pretty quick. Like, with the one where you're like crawling through the sand and the explosions are going off and shit. It's like at the end. But I just remember us just having so much fun with it. Like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
really, really digging into being like, go, go, go. You know,
Yeah.
like getting all into there. Just like,
That's
fuck
why
yeah,
no
you
one
guys
gave a
fucking
shit. Yeah,
high
no one gave a
motivation.
shit. I love
dude,
that
that was
shit,
like
man.
the best. That was fun, dude. I just remember army crawling and like them explosions going off in the pit next to you. You're just like, this is so cool.
Well,
it's
and you know
training.
why? It's because Seamer's always had us doing stupid shit, man. Remember that one time he had me medevac the entire platoon? He simulated that everyone died in an ambush, and I was the lone survivor, and I had to medevac every single one of you guys out to the fucking LZ because he wanted to prove a point to me and be a dick. I was
Yeah, he
so
was like
mad,
that.
dude. So mad. He made me fireman carry 40 fucking people.
That was
Like
during that
100
field
meters.
exercise, wasn't it?
Oh, dude, I was so mad, dude. If
Like
I
the
ever
last
wanted to hit
FTX,
a
I
drill
think.
sergeant, if I ever wanted to I'll smack a drill sergeant right in his face, dude. That was my moment right there, dude. I was so mad. I was so mad that day. Even Abu was pissed. And usually
that
he
dude never
loves
really
seeing
got-
me get smoked because I was always talking shit. I used to always call him Tupac a Buddha and everything, and I was
Remember
always
he called me
talking shit to
racist
him.
because I said ghetto. I said ghetto something. I said ghetto, and he was just like, "You're racist," and I was like, "What?" Like, I had no idea. But he was like, he was from Africa. Like the dude, like he would tell us how he would like walking home and like walking home from school, and like lions were like, you know, on the trail
Holy
home from
shit.
school and shit.
Yeah.
Like his dude was like, you know, like yeah. I remember we had the dude Akri. You know, you said Akri. Like we had the news came to our shit because we had a dude from Iraq as like the first Iraqi American soldier in our basic training.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was from one of the bigger cities. I forgot already, but yeah, he was. They had the news out there, like, and they were like pulled him out to dog and pony, show it up and everything. I
Did he
remember
fit
that.
in well?
Yeah, he did good. He was a good soldier.
That's cool, dude.
He's cool as fuck. I remember.
Yeah, he showed us a Muslim church, man, and that's when we all went for the donuts.
Yeah, he was like, "You guys need to come to Muslim church. You get candy and shit."
Yeah.
So, so we was going to
Started
get
hitting
candy.
up all the churches.
We tried all the churches.
Oh yeah, I've never been more religious in my life than basic.
I'm sorry,
And
but like
y'all
y'all
were
are dumb
everything,
not going to
dude.
church and basic training because that's where they just you're sitting around doing nothing private. Why don't you come with me? Let's go
We
clean
sang
some
on the
shit.
bus.
And then
We'd sing there
Yeah.
and back, and we'd eat donuts while we were there. We didn't listen to a damn fucking sentence of scripture the entire time.
No,
Once we
quiet
ate
the
our
whole time,
donuts,
though,
dude,
just
we
chilling.
checked out, bro. And then within 3
Yeah.
weeks, it went from 50 soldiers to like 300, dude, because everyone found out they were giving donuts at Muslim church, dude, and everyone was showing up, dude. Everyone.
Yeah.
Those were the
Yes, sir.
days.
I fucking went to that shit. Oh. The things you do for donuts, huh?
Yeah.
Shit, man. So awesome how almost an hour and a half just goes by.
Has it really been
So
that
quick.
long?
Yeah, almost. I love it.
Wow.
So
Yeah, man, that's
we
the
usually
beauty
like
of
to.
this stuff, man.
What
It's
what would you like to say? Like, if this would be like the end of the show, which it probably will be. Leave us with something, dude. Leave us with that. Leave us with some funky stuff, some nice little bit of knowledge. Like your one little, your nugget of advice for the transitioning soldier, for the guy listening that's struggling to talk to somebody, for anything. Just lay it on us.
well, okay. For the person struggling to talk to someone, man, call me if you need to. Like talk to
Yes.
someone. As far as like, a piece of advice I'd probably give people, man, to, transitioning or a soldier, it doesn't matter. Even regular civilians, us, everyone, just don't take life too seriously, man. Find your purpose and don't take life too seriously. Look at it for what it is. You're literally an organism on a rock floating in space. If you can accept that worldview, if you can look at that and realize that's at the end of the day, that's all we are. Everything else just kind of loses its seriousness. It loses that like, oh, I gotta worry about this and that. No, you don't, man. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because when you die, the world's just gonna keep going, man. It's gonna keep
We're
going,
so
and
small.
no one's gonna care about any of that shit. And you won't, because you'll be gone for eternity. So that's why I'm like, don't take it too seriously, man. Enjoy every day. Enjoy the little things. Find your purpose, whatever it is that's gonna make you look back on your life and smile, and just enjoy it. And if that's too hard and you need to talk to someone, I'll give you my phone number personally and let you shoot my ear off for 2-3 hours, man. If it means you get to see tomorrow. So.
Absolutely. That's ultimately what we started this thing for, man. Is even if you don't want to talk, sometimes it's easier to start just by listening. And for me, I found that when I hear things that I think out of other people's mouths that I've never met, there's really something truly amazing kind of happens where you feel like the whole world is actually connected in a way that you would never even imagine, like the vibes and the wavelengths. And like, I know you were like, I don't want to go too far into that. And like, we can do a whole nother episode on like that deep shit, dude. And cause I love mushrooms. I love to fucking like to trip and get weird and think about that kind of shit. I'm bringing this up every week until we get at least 8 people though. We're gonna do an ayahuasca retreat, bro. I'm trying to recruit some people. We gotta find like a legit 7-day ayahuasca retreat and like go and do it, and then like do like an episode afterwards, bro.
Yeah, we gotta record like how we're feeling and everything, and they can
no cameras, nothing during the experience, but like once we come out and we adjust, and then we talk.
I like that. I like that.
So that way,
That's
it's just you and your thoughts. Like, no, we ain't recording nothing. We ain't doing shit.
You don't feel no pressure or anything like that. You just get to live in the moment, dude. Yeah, I've heard good things from everyone I know who's gone and done a little ayahuasca trip, and I've been interested in it. So we got to do it, bro.
I'm gonna start getting some information together. I've had enough people say yes, and I'm in.
Yeah, you got my number, man. Text me time and place, and I'll show up. I live life day by day, man. So
ayahuasca retreat. That's all I want.
You writing it out?
That's what that is.
He just
gotta
that's
make sure.
it, bro. Ayahuasca retreat. All right, it's in the books, guys.
It's in the books.
Oh, I miss you, bro. That shit used to make me die, bro. And you're like, all right, I've heard enough. I'm gonna make sure we're going on this trip. Ayahuasca retreat. All right, it's official.
It's in the
you wrote
fucking
that
book,
shit on a
dog. We
sticky
can't go
note.
back.
That doesn't make it official, bro. You just
It's
wrote it
fucking
down.
so official right now. You had no idea.
You're all, fuck yeah, it's official. I wrote it down, dude.
It's scribbled in fucking half English and fucking
Oh, shit,
Spanish,
dude.
fucking cursive anyway, dude.
This is what it was like every day in basic first, dude. This shit right here. Every waking moment, dude, this is what was happening. It's shit like this.
Boughton was actually the first like friend that I made in the company too. Like him and our buddy Mojo. So like he was like my first. Like we were thick as thieves, bro. We hung out every fucking day when we got home.
We had a Step Brothers moment when we first met. It was like the whole like you have to call me Nighthawk and you have to call me Dragon. And after
Did
we
we
had
just
our
become best
little after we had our moment, we started really doing karate in the garage and all that shit. Like we just loving the moment and living life, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Like we said, we took that battle buddy shit seriously, bro. Like if somebody was like saying something to me, like you're not talking just to me. Like, you're talking to my battle
exactly.
too. Like,
Yeah, and I was there was a couple people who started talking shit to us. Or I was like, we're probably gonna get our ass whooped right now. But I was like, dude, I feel alive. Let's do it. Like,
yeah,
it'll wake me up, dude. Let's go. Like,
I gotta find the picture of us that we took in basic. That's gonna be the cover photo for this episode. The one with us all like doing push-ups and flipping the camera off.
Oh, I got that on my
like
phone, man.
Weighing like 105 pounds. It's probably on my Facebook. We weighed like 100 fucking pounds, soaking wet, and we're all like,
that was when with the Kodak, man. You had like a wind-up camera.
Holy
because
fuck.
we weren't allowed to have cell phones, man. And the suck shit, that fucking
nothing. Even that camera wasn't allowed until that last week. So
yeah.
Nothing was allowed. The most electronical thing we could have was that $150 watch that had a compass built into it that just made land nav easier. That's why everyone bought it, because it just made land nav a tiny bit easier. That was it.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. Well, I think this concludes our episode for today. What do you guys think? You got anything, Boughton?
No, man. Dude, I like the what you said about purpose, dude. I really do like that. That kind of opened my brain a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So don't be surprised you see that video. I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna share the shit out of it because I think everyone needs to fucking hear it.
Yeah, man. I
mean, all the reels and shit for us. So
it's an honor to be able to have this platform with you guys. It's been nice to reminisce and catch up and talk about a time in my life I haven't talked about since the moment I lived it. So it was nice to have the ability to do that with people I feel comfortable with. And anytime you guys want me back, I'm more than welcome to come back. I'll have to check out some of your Turk talks and everything. And
every other Friday, actually, we'll be on this Friday.
Yeah, I caught the last one, but I was stuck at the airport picking up my girls, so I couldn't like hop on video and say what up. But I shot you a battle.
Yeah.
I shot it.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. We had more people show up, man. It was pretty awesome. We had like 7 people on at once, and
I played it in the background of my car when I was driving. Yeah, I like what you guys are doing. So keep up the good work. You guys got a new fan for me. I'll be listening in because all I do is drive all day and literally listen to podcasts. That's it. So now I have one more podcast. Like when I need to fill an hour and a half of some time in between podcasts, dude, I can listen to your guys' shit. So you guys got a new fan for me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Battle. It's good to see you. I can't wait to get in this ayahuasca retreat with you and really catch up.
It's official now, bro.
You motherfuckers ain't going nowhere.
It's happening, dude. Like,
I'll just show up at your house in a van, dude, and fucking abduct you, but I'll leave a nice note with the wife. Like, don't worry, I'll bring him back in a week. You're mine, motherfucker. We're going. No. But But no, man, leave it off with, you know, if you're listening and you like what you hear, you know, check us out, share it. If you want to be heard, you could reach out to us on any platform that we're on, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Send us a message. Send us an email, veteranchatproject@gmail.com. And just, man, ultimately just never, ever, ever forget, dude, that you matter. And we want you to be back tomorrow. We want you to get through the wars that you're not telling anybody about. We want you to win all of the mental battles that you're facing. And that's not bullshit, dude. I'm fighting them with you. Like I said earlier, nobody here is perfect. And, you know, so I really appreciate people coming on and sharing with us, man. Like it's something I never thought that would be where I'm at today is inspiring people to talk about mental health. But, you know, God works in mysterious ways, and here we are. And so I thank you for coming on, man, and I really appreciate you guys for listening. KZ, I thank you as always for being my battle and being with me. And let's keep this thing going, guys. Love you.
Oh, yeah.